You're listening to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Todd and his three sons, Kellen, Garrett, and Gannon.
All right, we want to welcome back all of our friends, our family, and those many, many foes that we have to the Foxx Den Sports podcast. And along with Kellen and Little C, one of the Fox family members here, we've got my brother-in-law and Callie and what's your name, Kellen's uncle, kind of Diego's uncle in a way, because Diego's part of the family as well, but Clay, Banch, McDonald, and Diego, our OU and Dallas Cowboy insider, is with us as well. Garrett can't get with us tonight. He's got some stuff going on that he's working on, so he was unable to join tonight. And Gannon, of course, is still away. He'll be back 2 weeks from tomorrow, which is fantastic. But Kellen just offline just said, "Hey, why do we have so many people on here? Because it's Garrett." Have that much content. I'm like, well, not really. He does have content, but we had a big game this past weekend, as everybody knows, and we've got a lot of different perspectives that I want to hear from regarding that Bedlam game. That was a unfortunate ending. Obviously, the last, for now, Bedlam game. Oklahoma State wins. And, obviously it was a frustrating game, but I just want to hear what everybody else has to say, and then we'll kind of go around and you guys pop in. So who wants to go first? Just tell us your thoughts of the Bedlam game. Other than frustration, what do you got?
Just speechless.
Yeah.
Can we use cuss words?
This is a
Dad doesn't know how to bleep them out, so not yet.
yeah. So I don't know how to bleep them out. Can you
I'll
bleep
just
them out?
The most frustrating part. I was talking to an OSU fan today, and blah blah blah, and I said, they're like, ha ha ha, we won the last Bedlam. I said, I could care less about it being the last Bedlam. That means nothing to me. I'm just furious that we've lost two in a row to two games that we should have won.
Right.
And that's because we had the opportunity to win and the last 2 weeks. And I can tell you, I don't think West Virginia is a whole lot different than Kansas and Oklahoma State. And 3 turnovers, and we're going to be losing 3 in a row.
100%. 100%. Who's next?
I just think it's depressing because our defense is solid. And if we had this defense for the Baker, Kyler, Jalen, Spencer, Caleb years, I think we got at least 3 national championships in there. And now our offense can't keep up. And I don't know how many times our defense has to put them in positions, fourth quarter turnovers, all this stuff, and we just can't perform. The defense had a pretty bad drive on that 97-yard drive in the fourth quarter, but that was due to penalties. That was all penalties. It was the pass interference and then just stacking on top of that, Brent Venables with his little unsportsmanlike conduct. So that's a 30-yard play right there for him. Then we had I don't think it was a pass interference, but it doesn't matter. There's the pass interference in the end zone. So that was a bad drive for our defense, but for the rest of the game, our defense did fine, did what they could. Our offense just didn't help them out. The refs blew a call at the end of the game, which cost us the game, I think, but we shouldn't be in the position where one blown call can lose the game for us. We should have won the game so far earlier that call shouldn't matter. The call hurts, but yeah, it doesn't matter because we should have won that game a long time ago. It made no sense.
Sure.
I think it's just disappointing seeing ourselves beat ourselves, honestly. I mean, it's just I want answers, and I just don't feel like we get answers on why we keep doing this to ourselves. I mean, like Clay said, I mean, I think it's going to be the same thing next week, this Saturday when we play West Virginia. I mean, they're not a bad team. So it's like if we beat ourselves again, we're going to lose 3 straight, and we're going to just keep asking ourselves the same question: what's going on? I think we started so well, and then kind of what Gary said last week, see glimpses of last year's team, and it's just not good seeing that because we do not want to see results like last year again. And I'm just frustrated. Just keep asking myself, is this going to change, or is this going to continue on? And when we go to the SEC, it's going to be the same thing because I saw our schedule for next year. I'm like, if we play like this, it's going to be 4 to 5 games we're losing. So
They're rough. Yeah. 100%. I know, what's funny is Callie is really into it. And she, like, her mom sent a photo of her. I can't remember what game that was. Maybe it was Texas or Kansas. I don't know. But
Texas, I think.
Is that what it was? The family. She was all fired up, and she understands it. She knows it. So Callie, take yourself off mute and give us your little 2 cents. You on mute? There you go.
Does the mic work?
Yeah, sounds like it. She got a new mic. Good job.
Okay. I just think it's annoying because we should have won, but also we can't have 3 turnovers in the game. That doesn't make any sense. But we also shouldn't have had 3 turnovers.
100%.
What's the game on that?
100%. So, yeah, frustrating game. Like here's my take. It may take a minute for me to go through this, but we can't have 3 turnovers. You can't have all the penalties that we had. I think we had 11, and there was way too many. What's crazy is still nobody's really talking about the missed field goal. And I know it was a 51-yarder, but here's the thing. I don't care. You're there to make the kick. If it was a 55, 56-yarder, but it was a 51-yard field goal, they have no confidence right now in the kicking game at all. It can't come down to the very end of a non-call of a pass interference call, even though it was still pass interference. Yeah, we don't know what would have happened. I get that. We don't know if OU would have scored on the next, couple plays or what. There's so many different plays, and I get it. Oklahoma State fans are saying, well, there's a face mask penalty. Yes, there were. Hypothetically, if that what is that call on Stoops against Stoops that was not called happens in the first half, it may not be talked about as much, but it was the timing of it. And then what also frustrated me was that 4th down call, you got to go past the line, and I didn't think it was a very good play call personally, because here's the thing. We're going to the well too many times. They know what we're going to do. I'm tired of the bubble screens. Is that what they call them? The bubble screens? I'm tired of those. Yeah, Stoops should have gone to make the yardage, but first, and then Jeff Levy, if you're listening, this is to you. You don't call out your team. You don't call out one of your players. You called him out after the game and said he didn't run. I don't know if he said the right route or enough on it. You don't call him out. First off, that was a terrible call by you right there in that situation. I'm frustrated with that piece of it for sure. Brent Venables came out, I think it was yesterday maybe, or it was today. I don't remember, but he said we had a Rolodex of plays that probably better than that one. So he kind of went after Levy, if you ask, if in my opinion. So I don't know what's going on right now there. I think there's some frustration, obviously from some coaching staffs. I don't know how much Venables has to say in the final thing, but I would not ask for that kind of play right there. I'm tired of it. Everybody knows when we need a really big play, big catch, who they're going to, and it's usually Stoops. And we've got to draw something up better. And it was just frustrating. So again, I can't blame it on the non-call for the pass interference, even though it was. I can't blame it on that.
I just think there was a lot of coaching issues the whole time. Like our plays have not. It feels like we're like conservative. We're just not like going after it on offense.
Yeah.
But then like in the fourth quarter, I can't remember how deep into the fourth quarter it was, but there was the fourth down, and we looked like we're going to go for it, and everybody's kind of confused. And then we call a timeout and kick the field goal. Timeout didn't end up costing us, doesn't seem like, but it's still just like that's a stupid way to go about it. Just either go one way or go the other. Don't blow a timeout and then kick the field goal. Like that made no sense. So I just think our coaching has not been good, and I think our offense hasn't been aggressive enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's been coming down to coaching the last.
I don't know what's happened to this team since Texas, because honestly, that could have been 3 in a row. I mean, Central was at UCF. I mean, honestly, we lucked. I don't say lucked out. We still won the game, but
we should have come out of Texas fired up for the rest of the season. After that game, there's no excuse of why we lost momentum after having a great game against our biggest rival.
And like the thing I've seen is that like a lot of third downs, we had some nice plays drawn up to get first downs throughout that game. Like there was a lot of times it was like a 3rd and long, and I was like, we're not going to get this. And then draw up a play. It was perfect. It worked. And I know there's stuff in Levy's playbook. I've seen him. He was at Ole Miss. He had nice calls. He was at UCF, and he had good. He has a good playbook. But I just feel like what Kellen said is we're being too conservative right now, and it's coming down. And I agree with you, Kellen. It's coming down to coaching on the reasons we're beating ourselves, and it's more on the offensive side of the ball that it's coming down to. And I think, I mean, something's got to happen soon. I don't know if it's now or later, but I feel like something's going to have to change.
Clay, you got anything?
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many different things that are layered with it. Yes, there's coaching mistakes. There's players' mistakes. I personally think that now getting into the season with only 3 games left, I think OU, OSU, Kansas, Kansas State, Iowa State, West Virginia, Texas, we're literally all the exact same teams. And so far, if you can tell, if you go through and look at all of those, the one who turns the ball over the most or has the most penalties loses.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at OU, Texas, look how many stupid turnovers they had in the goal line stand, and we beat them. I mean, and I just kind of rewatched the fourth quarter of the Kansas State Texas game. Kansas State should have won that ball game. They made some stupid mistakes in overtime and right there at the end, and they could have easily won that game. And I think they're just as good as Texas and just as good as OU. And so I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure that this season's we still have a chance to make the Big 12. I know it's minute, but I think that Texas is going to lose again to somebody, maybe Texas Tech. And just because it's so goofy the way things are going, and they don't have Quinn Ewers, and then he may come back, and then, what's he going to be like after being out a while? I mean, they could run the table. OSU, I mean, what's like a 1.5 favorite is all they are over UCF. I'm like, give me a break. They should be a lot better. I thought it was probably be about a 10-point line. So
yeah, I think that's Vegas telling us that they think UCF's going to win that game.
Yeah, I agree. And so I don't know. I mean, there's some coaching mistakes, but I mean, why in the world is the center snapping the ball off of Dylan Gabriel's knee? I mean, you have that. Why is Stoops only running 3 yards on when he needs 5 yards,
right,
whether it's the wrong play call or not? He's going against a freshman defensive back that was his first start. He should have easily got that.
100%.
Why did Nick Anderson drop that ball that was a touchdown? I mean, it was wide open.
Yeah.
There's
so many different
ones. So I still think they had some kind of a play where Javonte Barnes was going to get the ball, act like it was wildcat, hand off to Gabriel, and Gabriel was going to throw it when they fumbled that snap. And then you look at OSU, why the heck did Ollie Brown throw that pass? I mean, literally, it was the worst pass probably I've seen in a college football game in forever. And so yeah, I get there's mistakes on both sides and the referees and people. You made a good point about if that Stoops things in the first quarter, you're probably right. We weren't talking about it. And that's why nobody's talking about that. There were 4 pass interference calls. When I rewatched the game, there were 4 pass interference calls that were not called or called, and they were bad. I mean, like that one Venables got the penalty on. That dude shoved the OU defense back out of the way. Yeah. That was a bad, nobody talks about that. And then Venables wouldn't have got that. And that would have been 4th down, and that have punted. The one Farouk was running down the sidelines, tried to turn around and come back and get it, and he got his hands on it, but he ended up catching one later.
Yeah.
But that was one, and then the one in the Stoops end zone, and then OU, that one time their receivers running down the sidelines, and we're just holding his jersey the entire time down the field, and they don't call it.
Yeah.
And but that's 3 that are big plays, and I know, like we said, I know stuff happens and different things like that, but looking back on it, it was a really, really weird game. I mean, people talk about, it's a great football game. No, it was frustrating because there were so many stupid things that were happening.
I get tired of hearing people, that was a really good game. I thought it was a terrible game. And then here's the thing, as bad as we played, we had 3 turnovers, all the penalties and all that. We were still in it, and we had a shot. That's like how much better I honestly think we are than Oklahoma State. Gabriel threw that duck in the air. I don't know what that was.
Yep.
And it just floated forever. That was bad. Number one. Here's my thoughts, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think that to Diego's point, I think Levy's got an arsenal of plays. They know the limitations Gabriel has, and they can't use the full playbook. And I'm hoping that Jackson Arnold behind him they'll be able to use many more of those plays going forward after this year, because they've got the guy who I think can probably make the throws, and he can run as well, and he can probably make the throws, because Gabriel doesn't have the cannon, doesn't have the arm. I'm not ripping on him. I'm not saying I can't stand him. I just don't think he's a quarterback like Jackson Arnold. I don't know if anybody agrees or disagrees with that.
That's why I've been saying Jackson Arnold should have been starting all year.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather enter, especially the way the season's boiling down. I would rather enter next year stronger. Jackson Arnold's not going to play for us for 4 years if he's as good as everybody says.
Yeah,
Has Jackson Arnold burned his red shirt? Has he played in 5 games?
No, he is not. I think
so.
I think he's right at 4, so he can't play anymore.
I just don't think he'll. I mean, who knows? I just don't think he'll stay anyway, regardless. I mean, that's just my opinion. But
so you think he'll leave?
Who?
Arnold after this year?
No, not this year. I'm saying like he'll start 2 years, then he'll be gone.
Oh yeah,
exactly. If he's as good as everybody says, he's going to the NFL.
Right.
So what's the point in redshirting him for that purpose? It's different than it used to be.
We could have had him for 3 years.
Yeah, I think that they felt like, honestly, Gabriel probably gave us a better chance to win this season, even though he has a little bit more limitations. I really do. I personally, looking back on it, now that we know everything, I'd rather have him played, and that way he's got some experience under his belt before he starts playing Alabama and Tennessee and South Carolina, and that's just the guys at home. I can't even remember who the road teams are next year. Is it LSU? I think we go to LSU,
Auburn, Missouri.
Was it Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, but anyway, bottom line is, I mean, I don't know whether or not that's accurate or not. That's just the way I feel. I know people are wanting Levy fired. He's not going anywhere unless he chooses to go somewhere. Is my guess. I don't know. And then
there's been a lot of controversy with him already. Why not go ahead and get rid of him?
I think he's leaving.
I don't think he'll be here next year.
Well, where's then I hear, okay, well, Jackson Arnold leave. Here's the only thing I have to say about that. Why would you leave when you're getting ready to get the keys to the Ferrari and be the starting quarterback at Oklahoma going into the SEC? Why would you want to leave that job if you're Jackson Arnold?
I don't think he's going to leave.
Right, because that's what people are saying, though. They're saying because of his relationship with Levy, the reason why he went there is because Levy. I don't know how accurate all that is. That's just what I'm hearing, though.
Yeah, but if Levy left, he's not going to a place in the SEC.
100%, right. And he's not going anywhere better. No, you. I'm telling you that. Yeah.
He's not going to go to Boise State with him or wherever
he goes.
He got a job.
100%. I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a Lincoln Riley situation. Yeah. Like Lincoln Riley had success under his belt. Levy, it's just under fire all year. Like he's not going anywhere special. Jackson
he hasn't proven anything.
I'm not
"Hey,
worried
babe,
about
come with
Jackson
me."
Arnold leaving.
Yeah.
I want Lubby to leave at this point.
Yeah, I think he's going to leave. I think after that game and after taking a couple days, I think something I also noticed, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like on the offensive side, I don't think we have that game changer player.
Mm-mm.
We don't have somebody like Caleb Williams or you can even go back to running backs, Samaje Perine or a Joe Mixon or a Sterling Shepard or even a D.D. Westbrook, guys that they can make plays to win you games.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, Kyler, Jalen,
CD
Mark
Lamb.
Andrews, CD Lamb. I don't think on the offensive side we have anybody like that.
I don't think we do. Yeah.
And if I'm going to be honest, I think there might be somebody that has that potential. And I think it's that Gavin, whatever his name is, the running
Freeman?
back. No.
Oh,
Whatever.
Sawchuk.
Yeah, Shawshuck.
Yeah.
I think he has that big playability in him, but it goes back to what are we doing at running back? We're always moving around, we're switching around. I just think, and like I said, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like we have that game changer, and I think we need that on the offense. And I think that's what Jackson Arnold is, and goes back to what Kellen said. I wish we would have started playing him at the beginning.
Well, I think what we may have said it last week. I don't remember. I know I was talking to somebody, but losing Anthony, I don't how what's his first name is
Andrew.
Yeah, I think he was a huge loss. I think he was
bigger than what everybody
bigger
thought.
loss than we honestly expected. I really do. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, it's just frustrating. And to Clay's point, I'll be honest with you. I think West Virginia is going to beat Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma, they come in here and they beat us. And I think we're going to be 7-3, and then we'll have BYU and TCU. So I figure we'll finish up. What is it? Would that be 9-3, and then a bowl game? And it's looking like we may play USC in a bowl game. I don't know. We'll see. But that's just I don't have a whole lot of confidence right now in the team as a whole. And I think our defense is better. I still don't think they're there yet. I think Kip Lewis? Is that his name? I think he's fantastic. I think Kanik has obviously some big time trouble with coverage, but I didn't even realize this. Was it online last week or was it after? I don't know, but I didn't even realize he wasn't even a linebacker in high school. So this guy's still learning. Kanik is still learning the position.
He was the one that had committed to Clemson.
Right.
And then Venables wouldn't take him until
Right.
Dabo Swinney gave the blessing.
Yeah, 100%. So, and then Stutzman obviously was a huge loss. I knew going into it he wasn't going to be playing, but I knew what's his name was going to be playing. Gentry Williams was back. Anyway, bottom line is I thought we did a decent job against what's his name, the running back, Ollie Gordon. Is that his name? Ollie Gordon. I think we did a pretty decent job with him. But the quarterback, Bowman, I mean, hats off to him. He played well, and he made it happen. He's like 32 years old, but still he did a good job, and he beat us. And that's kind of what we looked like. What we tried to do is say, hey, we're going to make you beat us. And he did. And he beat us. It's unfortunate.
The one thing that happened in the game that nobody's talking about it because since OU lost was, remember when we we kicked off to them after we got the field goal, and this is after the Stoops non-pass interference, and we made them go 3 and out. That's huge.
Big time.
With Ollie Gordon.
Big time.
And then they had to punt to us. If we had gone down and won, it would have been reverse of, I mean, the OSU fans would have gone ballistic. How do you not get a first down? You threw it on second down and saved them a timeout because we didn't call timeout on the first play. And then they passed it on the second play and we called timeout on third down and we still had a timeout left. And if we'd have gone down and scored or at least kicked a field goal and ended up winning, the OSU fans would have gone ballistic because of those 3
You're
plays.
right.
Just like the OU fans did against Kansas. And so
100%.
But nothing happened from it since we lost. But
Right.
I thought that was a terrible job on Oklahoma State's part right there with Ollie Gordon. How in the world do you not get a first down?
Right. And then to your point, like, I mean, I think you said it earlier, like the Bedlam game. I mean, whatever, man. Like we're 91-20-7. Really? Like Texas is a bigger game, obviously, than this. This has gotten to be a little bit bigger game because it's gotten to be a little bit more competitive. Not a little bit. It's been quite a bit more competitive throughout the years. There's been years where we've blown them out, and then I know they blew us out when they had Whedon and all those guys that one year. But it's been a pretty good game. But I mean, it's basically kind of recently, to be honest with you, and it hasn't been a whole lot of a big contest. I mean, Switzer, I think, didn't he only lose to those guys one time? I think maybe.
I'm not sure about that.
I want to say he lost in 76. I'm not 100% sure, but Switzer, I mean, that was a game when we were kids. It's like, oh, it's just OSU, and you beat them and you move on. And the big games were Texas and Nebraska.
Won like 20 straight times.
Yeah, so it's not that. I mean, and hey, here's the thing: hats off to them. They won. The fans are all excited. Obviously, we would be excited too. Let them have their day. They're going to say, "Oh, well, we're the Bedlam champs from here on out." It's not the last time we play. It is for the foreseeable future, but it's possible we play them again in the Big 12 championship. Possible, may not, most likely will not, but it's possible. And or at some point in a bowl game at some point in the next few years. I don't know, because I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. Little C, what do you got? You got anything? Tell them tell the guys who some of the guys you got the autographs of. You got it. You can show it to them. Take off mute and show it to them if you want. But yeah, she's got a lot of OU players. Tell them how you got them and then who all they are.
Wow.
Well, OU gymnastics meet, and me and Mom always go to those. Got Andrea Anthony, Jackson Arnold, Nick Anderson, a bunch of other guys that I don't really know. But
yeah, isn't that crazy? She's got those guys we were looking at a few days ago.
Get that thing framed.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said, get that thing framed, or maybe you'll draw my name for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. No shot. But anyway, no, it's Bedlam's over. And for the foreseeable future, again, we lost, is what it is. I know there's been a lot of comments going here and there, and OU fans, like, we're all OU fans, right? And we get frustrated and we get mad. But does it drive you nuts hearing some of the way people talk, like OU fans, just the way they just flip out, and anytime there's a loss, does that bother you, or are you just like whatever? Because I think it makes makes them look embarrassing, not us, but them look embarrassing.
I mean, it looks embarrassing, but I mean, I just feel like we expect to be better. We expect to be this certain type of team every year. I mean, my expectations every year is we should be competing for a national championship. So, like, even though that I didn't think we were a good team to win a national championship, I still think we should be in a conference championship year in, year out, and fighting for a playoff spot year in, year out, because we are the University of Oklahoma. We're this big brand, this historic program. So I understand the frustration. I just think some people overreact, but I understand the frustration.
Sure.
I mean, I think everybody expects us to be contenders every year. I mean, that's what the University of Oklahoma is, but some of them do overreact, and they do it. They might look embarrassing while they do it, but I mean, I get mad. I get really mad after a loss.
Yeah. Callie, was I mad, upset at all, or not really? Do you remember?
what?
How I wasn't very mad, was I?
Not as mad as I thought you'd be, but
There you
definitely
go.
weren't happy.
I wasn't happy, no, for sure, 100%. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Some of the fans just act foolish. And here's the thing about like this team, like if this was a good year to be able to win this conference, because it's a down year. And to be honest with you, just to get a shot at the national championship, being one of the 4 teams, there's not really a clear-cut favorite this year. I don't know if any of you would think that or agree with that right now. Like,
Yeah,
I don't see it. I don't see a real clear-cut favorite this year, and this would have been a perfect year, to get in there. Whether or not we would have done anything, I don't know. You never know. But I mean, hats off to OSU from losing to, who was that first team they lost to, like South Alabama or somebody like North. I don't know who it was, and to come back, and then they've got a good year going. Here's another question I got for you. Okay, now that we're going to be going to the SEC, are you going to root for OSU to win the Big 12, or are you just still like, are you going to be like, no shot, you don't care about the Big 12? What's your thoughts for the future of the Big 12? Like, is there a team you're kind of rooting for, or what?
I don't see myself ever rooting for them. Just why? I don't really care who wins the Pac-12 or the Big 10. So that's kind of how I look at it. Just
Yeah.
I mean, the
right.
Big 12 is going to be more irrelevant than people already say it is at this point. Like, people always make fun of the Big 12, and now the two big powerhouses are leaving.
Yeah.
So it's like Big 12 is going to be just on its way out.
Basketball
I think
conference.
this would have been the perfect year for the 12 team playoff system to come into play.
Sure.
Because like last year, I don't think it would have changed. Georgia was going to win it all. I think this year, and it could be any team. And I think while we were in the top 10, I was saying it all year when it was like Alabama at 12. I was like, so I'm hoping next year it's a similar situation, and next year is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We got a lot to work on, so we'll see. But
I want OSU to do well just so I can sell more shirts. So where I work, I want to sell some shirts, but I do not want to see Big 12 champions this year at all. I'm not gonna lie. Diego, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Because I know you're a big college football fan.
I wouldn't necessarily cheer for them, but I mean, there's still, like they're gonna be playing some cool teams. Like they're gonna play Colorado. Like when Colorado comes up here, like,
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing myself going up there and watching that game. See
Yeah.
Colorado, especially if Dion's still there.
Still there.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I just like watching college football. Like, I'm not going to cheer for them to win or anything, but I like watching college football. They're going to be playing some fun teams. But I mean, I could care less if they win the Big 12 or not. Like Clay said, I don't care who wins the Pac-12. I just worry about us winning games and us making it to the playoff. Honestly, but I wish them the best, but I mean, there's going to be some teams competing year in, year out for the Big 12 championship, so it's not going to be easy for them. I mean, they still have to play good every year.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good basketball conference for sure. But football wise,
yeah,
Utah will be there for football. Man, I think I heard that most likely that Washington State and Oregon State will be in the Big 12 as well, is what I've heard. I don't know. I mean, that's a huge conference, but still, it is.
They not decided yet?
From what I've heard, that's what most likely after the season. That's kind of what will all play out. So let's get some predictions for the OSU West Virginia game at 6 p.m. at, what is it, Gaylord? Is that what they call it? Gaylord and Memorial Stadium?
Oklahoma, West Virginia game.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the Palace on the Prairie.
He said OSU.
Did I say OSU?
Yeah.
You just full on switch teams on us there. You're
Man, my bad.
You were trying to get our take on, are we going to be rooting for OSU, because you're about to just
I was
completely
going to go ahead and pick OSU since they already beat them.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't know I said that. Anyway, I've got OSU in my mind, I guess. What are your thoughts? Who's going to win? What's the score going to be?
I'm going to say OU 31, West Virginia 28, and we're going to win, but still feel just as bad as we do right now.
Oklahoma 34-24.
I'm going to go OU 24, West Virginia 17. It's going to be a pretty close all game and be frustrating all game as well. But I think they'll pull it off, maybe last couple drives.
Little C, what do you got?
I'd say OU 31, West Virginia.
What was it? West Virginia what? 28? 29? You're cutting out. Sorry.
29.
29. Okay, there you go. Well, I think West Virginia is going to win. I think West Virginia 27, Oklahoma 26. We're going to go for a 2. We're going to miss it at the end. Sorry. I call it like I see it. I don't like what we're doing right now. Still love them. Still hope they win, but I just don't have a whole lot of good things right now with the Oklahoma Sooner football program currently. But I still think we're on the rise. I think we're going to be there at some point. It's just going to be a lot tougher because we're going to be playing a lot tougher competition. We got to get some stuff worked out for sure. So, what's that?
How do you think that the crowd would be react to another loss?
They would flip out. Yeah, they would be really upset. And again, the thing is, like, it started out so great, but then again, I mean, who do we play? I mean, other than Texas, I mean, we played. I mean, I know you got to play and you got to beat who's on your schedule. It wasn't that great of a schedule to begin with. So
but it was the fact that we were losing those games last year.
Yeah, you're right.
Like last year, we were losing the games that we should win. Like this year, we were wrecking the other teams.
Right.
So it's like, all right, we've obviously improved. Then we go beat Texas. Now all of a sudden we're out here ranked 5, then 6, and it's like, and then we lose 2 in a row to teams that are far worse than us, but way worse than the Texas team we played.
Sure.
I'll say maybe that bye week did not help.
I know, but I would still be fired up after beating Texas.
You would think.
I mean, you would think, but maybe that bye week just.
I was like all excited. We had a week off, thinking, okay, get a little bit healthier. Maybe we won't have that, that little bit down period or whatever. But I mean, it didn't help. I don't know what happened after that period. There's probably some things going on behind the scenes we don't know about. And to your guys' point, I mean, Levy may be on his way out just because, I mean, why else would Venables throw him under the bus a little bit? I mean, he may be on his way out. I don't know. And if he is. We'll find somebody else to be the offensive coordinator. Unfortunately, like, was it again, what bowl game was that whenever Caleb Williams and Stoops coached? When Bob Stoops coached, and then wouldn't Kel Gundy calling the plays? I mean, he did a really good job, man. Like, really good. Now, obviously, he can't come back, but I mean, I wish he would have been a pretty good offensive coordinator. How about Caleb Williams? Think he's upset he left and went to USC? Because my question is this, real quick, before we sign off. How would our team be today if we had Caleb Williams at quarterback instead of Dylan Gabriel? Would we be 7-2, or you think we'd be better?
We'd probably be undefeated because Levy could probably expand his playbook.
Yeah, I feel like they would trust him more to expand. Like, I think we'd be more aggressive.
And he's a game changer, man. He can put the team on his back.
He would be that guy, that player that you were talking about earlier that we do not have.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
We'd be undefeated right now.
Yeah. Unfortunate, isn't it?
I mean, you have the best college football player. I mean, even though that his team's not winning, but I don't think that's his fault.
He's the only player on that team.
But you give him a defense on the opposite side. I mean, he's going to do amazing things on the offensive side. So, I mean, he'll get wins here, and then I just hate thinking about it.
Sure. Let me tell you, I was going to say this at the beginning of the podcast, but I forgot. But on this date, November 7th is when we're recording this podcast, 1987, Oklahoma beat Oklahoma State 29-10 in the Bedlam game. It was in Norman. And just looking through here, I mean, Barry Sanders was on the team. He scored a touchdown. But I can just tell you, so here's some stats real quick. This is kind of funny. Mike Gundy, 11 for 27 for 115 yards and 4 interceptions. Thurman Thomas, 15 rushes for 173 yards. It doesn't show Barry Sanders what I'm looking at right now, but this is what's kind of funny. Jamel Holloway, passing, 0 for 6, 0 yards, interception. We had a guy named Rodney Anderson. Clay, I'm sure you remember him. 30 rushes for 191 yards, and Holloway 18 rushes for 123 yards. So that happened.
Rodney Anderson is Nick Anderson's brother.
Really?
Yeah, that's Nick Anderson's
Rodney?
little brother.
that was like an 87. Like how old are you talking about Rodney Anderson or Rodney?
Oh,
Yeah. I was gonna say, because that'd be like that'd be a
I was like,
little brother.
his grandpa.
Yeah,
Dad
that's
gets
his
around.
grandpa. But no, I know you're talking about. But no, it's funny to look at seeing that kind of stuff, because I remember that. I was my freshman year of college. Then we went on to lose the national championship game to University of Miami 20-14 against Jimmy Johnson. But those were some fun times. But we will have fun times again. It'll happen. I mean, because there's still fun times. It's just frustrating times that go along with it. That's part of being a Sooner fan. It's part of being a fan. But it's unfortunate. But I want to tell everybody, we want to appreciate everyone for listening to the Foxx Den Sports podcast, and really appreciate. We know you got a lot of going on. Please put some comments. I know we've got several comments that have been coming up. Shoot us an email. Watch us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and we'll go from there. But until then, I want to remind everyone that iron sharpens iron.
Please stay safe.
Be savage, not average.
And remember to Joan the Skulk.
Until next time.
Good.
Good.
Bye,
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 everybody.
everybody.
Boomer.
Toner.